So, welcome everyone. We are officially going to get started, and I want to welcome each and every one of you to the online Freedom from Fatigue Masterclass. I'm so glad you're here, and I don't take it lightly that you have committed to being here and spending the next 60 minutes with me, 60 to 90 minutes, depending on how interactive you guys are and how many questions you have. As I mentioned, this is a highly interactive training, and we are going to be having a conversation together, so make sure to keep that chat box open. All right, let's go ahead and dive into the Freedom from Fatigue Masterclass. You're here because you want the 3 secrets I use to stop sleeping my way through life. So it's important that you block out all distractions. Give yourself the time and the space to be fully engaged in this training. Put away your phone, right? Turn it off, put it in another room, close the tabs on your computer, and if you need to, put a do not disturb sign on the door. It is so rare these days that we can give something our undivided attention, but you're here for a reason, and I want to make sure that you are able to focus on tonight's training. And on that note, I have a special gift for you. Everyone loves presents, right? Everything I'm going to share with you is equally important. And it is critical to understanding how your thyroid works and what areas of your thyroid need support so that you can regain and have sustainable energy throughout the day. So staying until the end of the webinar will allow you to get a full picture and the tips I'm going to share so that you can better understand your thyroid, what's going on, what's normal, and what's not normal. Basically, I'm going to bribe you to stay till the end. Close to the end of the webinar, I will post a link in the chat where you can get instant access to the thyroid panel guide. And that gives you a chart to compare normal ranges versus functional ranges so that you can better understand what's happening in there. So tell me in the chat box, type in staying till the end if you are committing to stay to the end. Here's my promise to you, okay? I have a big promise tonight. You will be able to clearly identify your thyroid symptoms and get the exact steps that I use to restore my thyroid so that I could feel awake and refreshed all day long without being dependent upon caffeine, chocolate, or naps, while being able to get back into the jeans that were hiding at the back of my closet. All right, woohoo, you guys, we have a lot of staying till the ends. Let's see, we have staying till the end from Charla, we have staying to the end from Laura and Amy, Kathy Turner, Kimberly, Shelly, Michelle, Amber, Kay. Awesome, you guys. I'm so excited that you guys are going to be staying to the end with me. Going back to what I was saying, sorry, I got a little distracted. So I'm going to repeat that because I kind of detoured. So here's my promise, okay? At the end of tonight's training, you will be able to clearly identify your thyroid symptoms and get the exact steps that I use to restore my thyroid so that I feel awake, refreshed all day long without having to depend on the chocolate, the coffee, the caffeine, the naps, while being able to get back into those jeans that have been hiding in the back of my closet, while being able to interact with my kids without having to take the time to recover. And how I'm able to say yes to my family, yes to my friends, yes to my social life, and dare I say, yes to my spouse in the evening. A huge nudge, nudge, wink, wink, right? Read between the lines there. Does that sound good? And specifically, you are going to discover why what you've been doing all of these years to gain energy hasn't been working. I'm going to walk you through what does, and imagine being able to skip over all the Googling, all the trial and error, and just do what works. I know I've learned the method that I'm going to be teaching and sharing with you. This method has changed my life. and it certainly changed my clients' lives, and I know that it can change your life as well. So type in the chat box, yes, if that sounds good to you. Before I go any further, you guys, I'm curious to know, are you guys ready to gain that freedom from fatigue? All right, awesome, you guys. Awesome. Kathy says yes. Tracy says yes. Michelle, yes. Kay, yes. Shelly, yes. Tammy, yes. Wonderful, you guys. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. All right. So can you relate to any of these? Kay says, trying not to fall asleep right now. Don't fall asleep. We don't want you falling asleep. We want to have you get this information so that you can have that sustainable energy. All right. So tell me if you guys can relate to any of this right now. Are you feeling tired? Like you're constantly falling behind on those tasks, but yet you don't have the energy to keep up with the demands of getting it all done? Are you fed up with feeling confused about what steps you need to take towards feeling better, and you're spending hours on the internet researching, trying to find answers, or trying to even find someone to relate to? Are you unsure of how to get off caffeine, chocolate, coffee, Dr. Pepper, and still have the energy to keep up with life? Do you feel like you're going crazy and that this is all in your head? Or maybe your doctor tells you this is in your head and that you need to go on some other medication. Amy says she's ready to get rid of the brain fog. Laura says yes. So tell me, can you relate to any of these? Type in and tell me if you can relate to this. All right. Yes, all of the above. Yes. Okay, Amber says yes, 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 all of them. Kay says I can relate. Yep. So let me tell you, if you are nodding your head yes in agreement to any of these points, I promise I'm not a stalker. I haven't been watching you. It's because I have done all of those things. And I promise you, whatever it is that you're doing and it's not working, it is not your fault. It's really hard to know who is right and who to trust. And if you feel like if you feel like I did back then, I would have done anything, and I mean anything, to gain the energy to keep up with my kids, to go kick the soccer ball around in the backyard, and without having to take 2 or 3 days to recover from the extra energy output. Except nothing that I tried seemed to work. So, because the real problem is not calories in versus calories out, you guys, this is what we're being told, especially when we are working with thyroid imbalances. People say things like, you need to eat less and you need to work out more. And many of us have bought into this lie and deceit and have bounced from one extreme diet to the next extreme diet, only to have it not work for you, leaving you feeling like a failure or wondering what is wrong with your body. And when you continue to do these restrictive and extreme diets over and over and over again, it makes the problem worse. It causes the T3 thyroid hormone to slow down, your energy to plummet, and it causes your metabolism to slow and that results in that resistant weight loss and rebounding weight. So type yes in the comments if anyone has dieted and spent hours in the gym trying to regain that energy and to lose weight. It is totally frustrating, and I get it. You're following what the doctor is telling you, what your friends are telling you, and what you're seeing on social media, all of that. Yes, too many to count. Okay, Amy's saying yes, too many to count for diets. Charlotte says her current situation. Laura says yes, and it doesn't work, with a kind of a straight face, you guys, emoji. It's so frustrating, right? This is what everybody is telling us that we need to do. So let me give you an example of this. Okay, I'm going to be a little bit vulnerable with you guys. Shelly says, everyone says you need to exercise. Well, let me tell, oh, Kathy also says yes, and it's frustrating. Amber says, yep. Okay, let me give you an example. And I'm going to kind of take off this mask and be very, very real with you guys tonight. I hope that's okay. Tell me in the chat box if that's okay if I'm a little bit vulnerable with you. Tracy says, I'm too tired to exercise. It's a vicious cycle. Okay, tell me if you guys are okay. Laura says, absolutely. Thank you, Laura, for giving me your permission to be very open and vulnerable. Amy says, yes. Okay, wonderful. So I remember being at a family activity and I was being told by my siblings that I need to prioritize going to the gym and eating better, and I would have energy and I would lose the weight. You guys, I had already completed 2 certificates in nutrition, and I knew in depth the realities of diet and exercise. I cut out all grain and dairy. I hired a personal trainer 4 times a week. And guess what? Instead of losing weight, I gained 10 pounds in the first month, and my body fat percentage stayed the same. Talk about being devastated. I was completely embarrassed and mortified as a personal trainer weighed and measured me. He said, well, you didn't go up too much. I wanted to yell and scream and shout from the rooftops that I was eating healthy and I was showing up to the gym consistently, and I wanted to provide every excuse possible, but I also wanted to run and hide. How the heck could this be, right? I walked out of my personal training session fighting back the tears, but once I got to the car, the floodgates opened, and I thought to myself, what the hell is wrong with me? I was doing everything in my power to eat less and to exercise more, so why was it not working for me? Tell me, anyone have those kind of conversations with themselves? And please tell me I'm not alone in these feelings. I was miserable, you guys, truly miserable. And I felt gross. I was ashamed of myself because I wasn't able to figure it out. Even with my education in nutrition and holistic remedies, I really didn't want to feel like that anymore. I wasn't happy, and my own personal disdain from the weight and my body was starting to really take effect on my quality of life and my self-esteem. I wasn't it wasn't the life that I had wanted for myself. And if you can relate in any way to this example, I'm sure this isn't the life you envision for yourself either. And that is exactly why I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so everybody is telling me, yep, please don't hold back. That would be great. Kimberly says, I can totally relate to feeling exactly like that right now. Shelly says, yes, almost every day. Kay says, the worst is when overweight relatives give you crap about your weight. Oh, yes. Yep. Charlotte says, I have zero self-confidence in myself. My children are adopted, and this isn't the vision of motherhood I expected. Oh, you guys, thank you so much for being so open and vulnerable with me. I really, truly appreciate that. All right, let's go. Okay, because what I'm about to share with you is the fastest and the simplest way to wake up every day with bounding energy, right? That sustainable energy, instead of laying in bed for an hour after your alarm goes off, trying to drag yourself out of bed only to go grab that coffee. No more, you're not going to have, you're not going to be reliant on coffee, caffeine, or chocolate to give you that energy like I was using, because that only causes those crashes. So you have to be So you don't have to take those things anymore, right? We don't want to be reliant on the coffee, the caffeine, and the chocolate. You will be able to stay focused and motivated throughout the day so that you can say yes to the things that matter the most. Okay. I want you to stop having those afternoon crashes for yourself and stop relying on those naps and those early bedtimes. I want you to finally feel like yourself, going out and socializing with friends. Get in and keep those intimate relationships, right? Take your kids to the park, go take horseback riding lessons with your daughter, work on the farm or the ranch. Charlotte says, I set 30 alarms and wake up and drink an energy drink. Yep, plus some Herbalife tea. Yeah, totally, you guys. So tell me in the comments, which scenario would you like the most, right? What are you looking for the most out of tonight's training, right? Do you look forward to waking up? It would be nice. So Michelle says it would be nice to wake up refreshed and ready to go and finally get rid of the crashes in the afternoon. Yes, 100%. That was life-changing for me to not have that 2 to 3 o'clock slump. To feel like myself again, says Kimberly. Laura says to have lasting energy to be able to chase my 5-year-old around. Oh, I can totally relate to that, Laura. I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, and they have energy. Amy says to have energy all day. Shelly says to wake up feeling rested and refreshed to take on the day. Yep. Kay says ditto to what Michelle said. Kathy says to have the energy to find out what my real self is like. Oh, Kathy, that is so deep. Thank you for sharing that. Tracy says to keep up with my 4 kids and their activities. 100%. Tracy, I don't have 4 kids, I have 3, and I can absolutely relate to that. Charlotte says to feel like a woman, be a mom, survive until baseball games at night, and find my true self. And she put self in these quotations. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. You guys are so incredible tonight. Thank you so much for all of this interaction. Okay, before we go any further, I should formally introduce myself. So hi, I'm Shannon Hansen, and I am a certified holistic wellness practitioner and a certified functional nutrition practitioner. And I have founded the business called Sustainable Wellness and Nutrition. I am also the founder of the Hansen Method. That helps women with thyroid imbalances create a thriving thyroid. I work to support women with those imbalances so that they can stop sleeping their way through life without relying on caffeine and chocolate for that energy. In May 2015, I found out I was expecting a surprise baby. My dad was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. It had metastasized and it went to his brain, where they operated to hopefully improve the quality of his life. But ultimately, it left him bedridden and in hospice, and he did pass away within 30 days of that prognosis. I was going to school full time. I was a full-time mom to 2 little girls, and I was living in a mold-infested home. And my mind and my body began to go from bad to worse. I was putting on weight, my hair was falling out, my body was feeling tight and inflamed, and I was sleeping 12 or more hours a day. And trust me, it would have been more if I didn't have young kids to take care of. I moved from the bed to the couch, and I was unable to get down and play with my kids. I just didn't have the energy to do it. And I feel like I missed out on so much valuable time with them. A little bit later that year in October 2015, I did end up finishing my schoolwork. And I did graduate in 2015 as my first certificate as a holistic wellness practitioner. In January 2016, so a couple months after, I delivered my 33rd baby at 200 pounds. I'm 5'3", so 200 pounds was not very pretty on me. And I knew things needed to change, but normal diet and exercise didn't seem to work. So after over 18 months of struggling with the extra weight, the hair loss, the fatigue, the migraines, acne, I was complaining to my mom, and she told me I should go get my thyroid checked. And I was like, nope, like if I if if I thought it was my thyroid, I would have known that, right? Like there was something else wrong with me. It wasn't my thyroid, because you guys remember I had my education. I had studied thyroid imbalances. I had studied diabetes. I had studied all these different things, and that was not me. Okay. A little bit later that evening, I was telling my husband that my mom told me I should go get my thyroid checked. And he said, well, sometimes when it comes to yourself, you forget what you know. And it took me another 6 months, you guys, to humble myself and to make an appointment with the doctor to get my thyroid levels checked. In 2017, I started working with a naturopath to work on my thyroid. And after several months, lots of money, I realized I wasn't getting better. Or at least I wasn't making the progress that I thought and I knew I should be experiencing at that point. Later in that year, in 2017, I worked with Dr. Nancy Gretzinger to co-author the book, The Happy Healthy Brain. And it talks about how moms can take simple steps to prepare the body for pregnancy so that the baby has proper brain development. I give all of the nutrition tips in there and help you guys understand how the brain is developing so that it's reducing the risk of neurological imbalances in those babies and kids. And later in 2018, I began understanding my calling in life. I started working with one-to-one clients, and that year I had managed to work with about 200 individuals, which also helped me find my true passion of working with women with thyroid imbalances. So last year in 2019, I stepped into my power and my authentic self, and I developed an online program called the Hansen Method to teach women what took me years of trial and error to figure out. Shelly says, oh my gosh, you're OMG, you're describing me. Fortunately, I don't have kids. Yep. Okay, thank you guys for sharing all of this. This is me 5 years ago when I was struggling with that debilitating fatigue, that resistant weight, and I was using those traditional methods that I talked about. Eat less, exercise more. I was frustrated, confused, overwhelmed, discouraged, and my self-esteem started to tank. I remember seeing this picture and I was like, oh my gosh, is that what I look like? I was mortified. You guys, I felt defeated because even when I was working with other professionals to help me, things didn't work. I was tired, my hair was falling out, my weight wasn't coming off, and I had a hard time looking in the mirror because I had no clue who was looking back at me. That's when I started really toggling between dieting and experimenting with different styles of eating and binging, although I would have never used that word to describe what I was doing because that's a scary word. And looking back, that's exactly what I was doing though. I would be really, really good for several weeks and even months, but when I became defeated and that diet and that exercise wasn't working and I hit that wall, bam, I'd binge. Okay. I remember one time, you guys, I told you I'm going to be really vulnerable with you tonight. I remember one time I cut out sugar for 30 days. It was challenging at first. I had a few rough days, but after that 30 days, I didn't see any results. So I went to the store. I bought all the candy and all the snacks that I had been missing out on. I was embarrassed and ashamed, but I also didn't care. I snuck an entire grocery bag into my closet to hide the chocolate and the caramels that I had bought. It was like I couldn't even control myself. In my mind, I was like, it's okay. I tried hard enough and it didn't really work. And then I would feel guilty for not being able to control myself. And if I'm being totally honest with you guys, I couldn't remember, I couldn't understand why I wasn't losing the weight, because I didn't realize what I was doing was actually harming my hormones and my metabolism. Amy says, I've been at the same place as well. Michelle says, I can relate to all of this. Shame and guilt for sure. Okay, so tell me, does anyone feel like this? Tell me in the comments if you're struggling with the same thing or something similar. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that is doing this, because I thought I was doing the right things, right? I was eating good for 30 days and I wasn't understanding why this was happening. Okay, so this is the defining moment. There I was, feeling emotional, discouraged, frustrated, bloated, gassy, puffy. I was constipated and I felt gross. And I decided no more. I knew food was powerful. It was a powerful tool. Kathy says, I'm struggling with the same thing. Laura says, I can relate to all of that. Okay, so here I was, you guys, feeling completely disgusting, bloated, gassy, all of that. And I had my education and I knew that nutrition could be the answer that I was looking for, right? And restoring my health. And one day I was looking in the mirror, I was feeling disgusted with what I was seeing, and I was pinching, you know, that extra fat around my hips and my waist, and you know, it was hanging over my pants, and I was feeling really discouraged. And my daughter walks in and she gave me a hug and she told me how beautiful I was. And she gave me a hug and it was incredible. You guys, she didn't care about the size that I was or what I looked like. She loved me for me. And that was right then and right there. I made that conscious decision that I would love myself for who I was. I would respect my body because my daughters, all three of them, were watching me. And I decided that I would no longer live like this. I decided I was going to figure out how to love my body, even with my thyroid problems. Even though that my thyroid problems were making it difficult for me to lose weight and to have the energy, it didn't matter. It didn't matter to me how long it took or what I had to do. I made the decision that I was going to figure out how to start working with my thyroid and my metabolism without punishing myself for the lack of progress. And I thought I should be experiencing at that point, right? Without having to give up valuable family time, social outings because I couldn't eat what I wanted to or what everybody else was doing, or saying no to my kids when they wanted to play because I had to spend that time exercising. And that's when I started the journey that got me to where I am today, here with you, sharing my methodology with my clients so that you guys can skip over the years of trial and error and the struggle that I went through, so that you can just have the energy and the weight loss that you are desperately searching for. And that decision led me to figuring out what I had been doing for all of those years was completely wrong. I had to relearn all about health and nutrition. And I am so grateful that I made that decision to invest in myself, because I would probably be stuck trying restrictive diets, spending hours in the gym, and missing out on enjoying that salted dark chocolate, the ice cream, and still not getting anywhere. So, like Oprah says, when you know better, you do better. Even though I am now able to have that lasting and sustainable energy without relying on caffeine and chocolate, it took me a solid 2 to 3 years to figure it out. And I had to unlearn everything that I thought was right to do, because I quickly discovered that it was wrong, right? I had to test out different formulas to see which ones worked for me and my body. And guess what, you guys? I struggled. As embarrassing as it is to admit, I became obsessed. and not with diet and exercise like I was before, but with researching and finding answers. I spent hours listening to books and listening to podcasts and reading internet articles and reading medical journals on thyroid health. And one day I realized I was doing it again, you guys. I was missing out on my children's lives. I wished someone else, somewhere else, could tell me what to do without me giving up, right? I was spending so much time and energy trying to find this magic answer. And once again, conversation with my husband led me to resorting back to this vault of information that I had been accumulating over the years with multiple different certificates and um, seminars and books and all of these different things. And it took a lot of time and a lot of patience, and there was no way I could have with um, arrived at the Hansen Method without investing in my education, my knowledge, right? My professional education, and becoming an expert in the holistic medicine and the holistic nutrition. And I was fully committed to figuring it out because I was not going back to my old ways. Kathy says, I've never really had anyone like that in my life. How sweet and blessed you are. You guys, my husband is absolutely amazing. I just did, Charlotte says, I just did the exact same thing. My emotional eating afterwards was hiding a piece of king cake. Oh, I don't know what king cake is, but that sounds amazing. You have to tell me all about that. So what I discovered through the trial and error was that it wasn't that I was worthless or broken or that I had weak willpower or that I wasn't strong enough to say no to the junk food or that it was normal to track all of my food or think about every single thing I put in my mouth or to do an hour or more of cardio daily, right? I discovered that none of those things were normal or helpful, and I figured out that in fact I had environmental triggers that were upsetting my hormones, causing me to do this back and forth. And once I started to address the environmental factors, everything changed for me. Okay, I started to find my unique triggers, and I want to share how I did that so that you guys can skip over all of that trial and error too, because there is a simpler way to get the energy and into a more realistic pant size without missing out on your favorite foods or even large food groups or spending hours exercising. So tell me in the chat box if you want a simpler way to do things. Kimberly says yes. Amy says yes. Wonderful, you guys. Charlotte says me. Oh, you guys are going fast. Amber says yes, please. Shelly, yes, please. Kay says of course. Kathy says yes, please. Okay, so before I dive into the 3 secrets, I want to share a short case study with you because it's important that you see what real success looks like so that you can ground yourself in knowing that it is possible for you too. Working with Shannon, so this is April, she says, working with Shannon was the last piece of the puzzle. I've been having health issues for years. I went to several doctors who were each able to fix a part of the problem, but I never felt 100%. Shannon was able to provide the nutrition help. That was the last piece of the puzzle. I'm feeling better and I have more energy than I have had in years. So let me tell you a little bit more about April. She went through the Hansen Method, you guys, and she experienced that freedom from fatigue. She went from sleeping 18 hours a day to sleeping 10 to 12 in that 3-month period. Things have gradually gotten better for her over time, but she was able to reduce the amount of time that she was sleeping every day drastically in that 3 months. Okay, so oh, and I have to tell you, you guys, she is now building an online business where that was just a hope and that was a dream for her, but it seemed so far unattainable for her. So now imagine having energy like a 5-year-old that keeps you going and going. Imagine taking your kids or your grandkids to the park and running around and playing tag with them, sliding down the slides and laughing with them because you got to say yes to them. Imagine pulling out your skinny jeans from the back of the closet and being able to fit in them with room to spare. Or imagine going to um, the store and trying on pants thinking you're one size, but you have to go down a size because your waistline is starting to shrink easily and naturally. Imagine being able to have energy to be intimate with your spouse without feeling tired or ashamed of how you look. All of this so that you can have and build happy, successful, and meaningful relationships with yourself, with your loved ones, so that you can stop feeling defeated and unaccomplished in your life. So tell me in the chat box if you want to start having any of those pieces. Do you want to stop feeling worn down, broken, tired, puffy? Yes, please. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes, please. Of course. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to be sharing with you. Yes. Yes. I'm tired of being I'm tired of being emotionally, physically drained. Yes. 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 Awesome. You guys. So now we're transitioning into my 3 secrets. Why you guys are here. And guess what? Not only am I going to be giving you my 3 secrets for this, but I'm going to be giving you 5 steps, okay, of how you guys can accomplish this, okay? So, secret number 1, don't wait for the doctor to diagnose you and to get it right. I'm going to explain this, okay? So, did you know on average, thyroid patients go to 10 different doctors before they're diagnosed with thyroid imbalances? Think about how many visits that happened, you know, how many different doctors, how many hours, how many weeks, how many months researching and finding new doctors to give you a diagnosis about what you already know about yourself. You guys, you know yourself better than anybody. So, can you relate? Are you tired, worn out? Are you gaining weight? You can't lose weight. Your body is achy and swollen and puffy, and your brain feels cloudy and your hair is falling out. The reason this keeps happening is because it is common practice, or what we call standard practice of care, for your doctor physician to only be testing TSH. If that comes back within those normal ranges, they discontinue doing any further research about your thyroid. So tell me in the chat box, have you experienced this? Have you gone to more than one doctor seeking answers and they're only testing your TSH? You guys, that is why at the end of this, I'm going to be giving you a thyroid panel guide. I want you to have this information so that you can be well equipped when you go talk to your doctors. Kay says, I get sick of the normal ranges. Yes, absolutely. Shelly says yes. Okay, you guys are experiencing this. You know, you know. Before I dive further into the science, I want to introduce a new way of thinking. So what doctors are testing is for, oh, Laura, I have to, so Angie says yes. I always come back in the normal range. Oh, so frustrating, you guys. Laura says yes, and I feel helpless. Okay, stick around, you guys, till the end. I do have to tell you, there is a normal range, which is what your doctor is using, and there is a functional range, okay? Inside that gift that I'm giving you guys. Charlotte says, I've stuck with the same, okay, she's stuck with the same doctor, but I can't wait to find out about all of this because I actually see him tomorrow morning. Oh, this is perfect timing. Yay. Okay, super exciting. All right, so let's dive into this research. But I also want to give you that new way of thinking. Okay, so here we go. Doctors are testing for glandular dysfunction, right? Essentially, they're waiting or they're looking for your thyroid to be broken and not producing thyroid hormones. And the problem with this way of thinking is that people, like myself, who have what we call cellular hypothyroidism, meaning that the thyroid hormones are in the body, but they're not getting into the cells of the body, leaving you feeling tired, okay, leaving you feeling worn out, leaving you experiencing all of the thyroid symptoms. Amy says, my levels are like a roller coaster, different every time I get my labs drawn. Amy, we need to talk, okay? We need to chat about why that's happening and why you're experiencing that, okay? Okay, so now I'm gonna be diving in how your thyroid is working, okay? And just listen, I know you're not gonna remember all of this, but the more you hear it, the more familiar it becomes and the easier it is to understand. So every cell in the body depends upon thyroid hormone for regulating your metabolism. This is why you're experiencing that weight gain, right? So let's examine why testing more than TSH is important. The hypothalamus sends thyroid releasing hormone TRH to the pituitary, okay? The pituitary gland is a tiny gland that sits at the base of your brain, okay? The hypothalamus, you guys, the hypothalamus is part of the brain, okay? So the hypothalamus is sending TRH to the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is what is actually creating the TSH. So the pituitary gland is that little tiny gland that sits at the base of your brain, and that TSH then sends it to the thyroid. Okay, so TSH isn't even a thyroid hormone, it's a pituitary hormone. So why are we only looking at TSH? Okay, so TSH then goes to the thyroid, and TSH stimulates TPO activity to use iodine to create T4 and T3 hormones, which are the two thyroid hormones that we need to be looking at. 80% of TSH is the active thyroid hormone for your thyroid, okay? 93% of T4 goes to your liver. Your liver then converts 60% of the T4 into reverse T3, which is a form the body can't use. Another 20% becomes active in the intestines, you guys. In the intestines, if it is presented into a good and healthy, and your intestines have good gut flora. So about 20% of healthy thyroid hormone activity depends on a healthy gut, which can quickly be knocked out with the use of one antibiotic use. And the process goes on and on and on until the thyroid hormones reach every cell in the body. And let me just say, the answer isn't as simple as I'll take a probiotic and all will be well. I'll explain a little bit more about this later. Okay, so tell me in the chat box, did you know that every cell in the body is dependent upon thyroid hormones? Type in the box, yes or no. And did you also know that, I want you to let me no, 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 yes, yes, awesome. So some people yes, some people no, right? This is very eye-opening for people. And can you see why having good, accurate testing is so important, right? And why you're experiencing that fatigue. Type in the comments if you guys want freedom from fatigue. Say, I want that, right? The thyroid gland is a butterfly-shaped gland that stretches across the Adam's apple and acts like a shield. It acts as the body's speed limit. So if you're cold, the thyroid steps on the gas to create a little bit more heat in the body. If you have a virus, the thyroid revs up the engine of the immune system, right? If you are overly stressed from working 18 hours a day, fueled on caffeine, chocolate, fast food, the thyroid will hit the brakes so that you don't blow a gasket while being in the fast lane. Instead, the thyroid will slowly but surely start moving you into the slow lane or even onto the shoulder to keep your body protected. So this is one of my past clients. Her name is Jill. And Jill says the biggest influence the Hansen Method had on my life was realizing the emotional impact on my health. The program helped me not only recognize some of the triggers, but gave me skills to coping and beginning to move beyond the triggers. The program has created a movement inside of me to really think about the food and how it impacts my body. When I know I'm not eating as well as I should, I sit down and think about what's happening in my life and what needs self-care. The conversations with Shannon allowed my growth beyond what I was eating and what I should be doing. Shannon took the time to really get to know me, my lifestyle, and I felt as if she knew what was important to me and what was not. I walked away from each meeting with something I could take and implement into my life. Remember, the thyroid is highly sensitive to change and will react to even the smallest adjustment that you make. So small changes like diet and exercise affect the thyroid quickly, either positively or negatively, helping you to identify that good from bad quickly, right? So the question here is not how do I rev up the engine and get her going again, but rather why is my body stomping on the brakes with both feet and pulling the emergency brake at the same time? The reason is exactly what Jill was pointing out. Finding out your unique triggers. Your genetics will load the gun, but your environment, aka your unique triggers, will pull that trigger. So in order to figure out the best path towards restoring thyroid function is finding those triggers. I was struggling with the same thing, seeking out doctors to help me figure out what was going on. My natural path told me I was borderline and put me on some crazy protocol that required daily vitamin injections in my bum every morning that I had to do myself. Yes, it was not very fun. Weekly visits for more nutritional, more vitamin injections, and then bi-weekly visits with new supplements and a laundry list of to-dos with zero help on actually how to implement this in my life, and zero guidance on things that I wasn't doing that I should have been doing would make a great impact in helping me feel better. You see, one of the small things I was doing that was wreaking havoc on my thyroid hormones was I was sleeping only 4 to 5 hours a night. Can you guys relate? Tell me how many hours of sleep you guys have a night. I felt overwhelmed, frustrated, but more importantly, after working with him for more than 4 to 6 months and spending thousands of dollars on this crazy protocol, I felt very little improvement in my health. It actually left me feeling more anxious and overwhelmed, and I continued to seek out other doctors and physicians, GI doctors, trying to find answers, right? I was trying to find validation for someone who knew what I was going through. Amy says 7, Kay says 6, Kathy says 5 to 6 hours of sleep. You guys, I want you to think about prioritizing your sleep. Kimberly says 7. Okay, can you relate? How many doctors have you gone to seeking different answers, right? Seeking answers for your thyroid. Okay, secret number 2. Stop thinking you're lazy and that you should go to the gym and eat less. So that you can lose the thyroid weight, you guys. Many clients come into my office and I ask them what is holding them back from achieving their goals towards having that sustainable energy and being able to lose weight. And 90% of them say, if I had the motivation, I would be able to exercise and to eat better. Wrong, you guys, absolutely wrong. Going back, Laura says, I've been lots of GI. I have had lots of GI issues and my gallbladder removed, thinking that that was a problem. Kay says, is that 2 doctors? I hope that's 2 doctors and not 2 hours of sleep. Kathy says, I keep waking up too early. Kathy, let's also chat, okay? All right, so many of these people are coming in saying, if I had the motivation, I would exercise and I'd eat better. You guys, this is completely false, okay? I want to call you out on this, and let me be very clear. You are motivated. If you didn't, you wouldn't be here in this class today trying to learn. You wouldn't be scheduling calls with me. You wouldn't be a part of my online free Facebook group. You wouldn't be doing the research towards understanding how to improve thyroid function so that you have the energy that you are desperately looking for. You have the motivation. You're missing the step-by-step instructions and understanding how the body is working, how your thyroid is working. And if I'm completely honest with you, you could be working against your body, your thyroid, unknowingly, because you're listening and you're watching friends, watching people on social media, magazines in the grocery stores who don't have thyroid imbalances. Tracy says, I sleep too much, 9+ hours, and I could do more. Michelle says, I can relate to Tracy. Okay, so you guys are all having different sleep things, right? Okay, I want to be the bearer of bad news. But your approach has to be different, right? We can't be looking to all these external sources who don't have thyroid imbalances. And I have to ask you, who wants to ditch that common belief and stop doing the extreme diets and exercise? Type in the chat box, ditch that, if you guys are ready to ditch it. One of the biggest diets we see going on right now is this low carb or keto and intermittent fasting, right? Ditch diet, ditch that. Awesome. You guys are amazing. Many of my clients have tried this in the past, and while it worked in the beginning for some, for others, they notice negative side effects right away. Look, I don't blame you for wanting or looking at your friends and trying to do what works for them because you're desperate. You're looking for answers for that energy so that you can start creating your own new normal with these thyroid imbalances. Seeing these results online are very compelling and very enticing. So let's chat about what you need to be doing to work towards that so that you can have your body again, so that instead of feeling like your body hates you and is working against you, and dare I say, so that you can stop feeling crazy again. Okay, so here's the problem with low carb or the keto diet, which is all the rage right now. So going low carb can inhibit, meaning it stops the conversion of T4 to T3 in the liver and in the intestines, further slowing down your metabolism and the rate at which you can burn fat. The second problem with this is that the body is trying to work in overdrive, making this conversion happen so that the thyroid hormones can be properly used in all of the cells in the body so that your body puts the energy into making this work, right? It's putting the energy into making this work, which takes the energy from you, leaving you feeling drained and tired. So now you have two problems, right? Number one, you lack the energy caused by the body for not having proper thyroid hormones in the cells where they're properly used and they function. But now, number two, your body is taking the energy that it has and is trying to create thyroid hormones, trying to make the thyroid hormones work, which is leaving you feeling dead tired and feeling like you're sleepwalking. So here's the solution. You want to make sure that you are eating carbohydrates, eating the proper amount of carbohydrates a day from healthy foods, right? Like properly prepared legumes, lentils, potatoes, and other starchy vegetables is a good place to start. Eating other things like broccoli and leafy greens and fruits like berries and apples can help improve liver function, which is where the conversion of T4 and T3 happens. So tell me in the comments, in the chat box, have you tried a low carb or keto diet? And please don't be scared because I tried it too, thinking that it would help me. Kathy says, ditch it. I was thinking about doing keto, but not enough energy to keep it up. I think it's H Maxi. I think 07, she says, me too. They say keto helps. What do you guys think now? Right? Have you guys tried keto? All right, let's go to the next one. The next one is avoid intermittent fasting. Okay, Tracy says, I'm so glad you told us about keto. Kay says, concerned with carbs due to diabetes. Kay, yes, let's absolutely talk about that, because I have special ways. I have family who is diabetic, and I have special ways to reduce the sugar spikes in potatoes. Okay, so after this training, if you want to go over to the Facebook group and ask me about it, I will answer in depth how you can do that. Okay. Okay. Setting myself up for failure with keto and fasting. H Maxie says, I'm glad too. Kay says, now we're talking. Yes. Okay. Woohoo. You guys are getting excited. I told you this was going to be super juicy. Okay. Now let's go into that intermittent fasting. And well, this is also among the top dieting trends for those who are struggling with thyroid and adrenal imbalances. We need to be looking and avoiding this type of dieting because it puts too much strain on the adrenals and also on the liver. So the problem, if you are already in a state of hypothyroidism, meaning your thyroid is working low, this lowers the basal metabolic rate, and that basal metabolic rate is the speed at which how quickly you burn fat. So then when you're doing that intermittent fasting, this causes the body to think that you're in a famine state, causing your body's metabolism and thyroid to slow down even further, causing you to gain more weight, which has the opposite effect because you don't have enough food and carbohydrates, and this inhibits the body's process to convert that T4 into T3. So here's the solution, you guys. How can we support and balance thyroid hormones? We support the body's basal metabolic rate by eating, okay, removing processed things like bagels and pasta and refined sugar, and increasing healthy fats. So increasing things like avocados and nuts and seeds so that this can support proper hormone production and aid in the conversion that happens in the body. You guys think avocado oil or olive oil, coconut oil, all of those things are super good. We can also do this by having 3 regular meals a day and sometimes 2 snacks that are nutritionally balanced. That's going to help keep those blood sugar levels stable. Okay, that is a huge thing for you if you have diabetes, right? We need to have stable blood sugar levels. This is something we cover inside the Hansen Method in depth. So type yes in the comments if you have tried intermittent fasting, because that's another one that I tried. Okay, so Cindy, she says, I was lacking motivation and expected a "you can do this" mentality from Shannon. However, I found support, education, and tools I needed to stay motivated and get the weight loss results I was looking for. And what I found inside the program was encouragement and suggestions and praise for my efforts. It wasn't like anything I've tried before, with all of the education and the food substitutes that really fit my life. My favorite part was the video trainings, the private Facebook group, and being able to ask questions and receive support. Laura says, if a diet is out there, I've tried it. Okay, let's see. What about the gym? Can I tell you guys a personal story? Will you guys let me, again, be very vulnerable with you? Charlotte says, I never did fasting, but I've tried to replace all meals with meal replacement shakes. I did too. And it wasn't very pretty for me. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to, again, Kathy says, I'm so burned down on diets because I can't even process the thought. Oh, I've been there too, Kathy. I've been there too. Okay, so here I am going to be vulnerable and open with you guys. Thinking I needed to spend more time in the gym, I went and signed up for a gym membership. I hired a personal trainer and I went to the gym 4 to 5 times a week for 30 to 60 minutes. And I had a good mixture of cardio and HIIT training and yoga. And 30 days into my program, my personal trainer weighed and measured me. I was disciplined at attending the gym and eating healthy, but guess what, you guys? I gained 10 pounds and I felt completely embarrassed. I felt ashamed at the lack of the progress, and I wanted to provide every excuse in the book, but the reality was my body wasn't working with me anymore. We were fighting against each other. And I wanted one thing and my body wanted another thing. And this is a common story told by women with thyroid imbalances like hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's. Once again, when the body and the cells do not have proper thyroid hormones where they need to be, this causes famine in the body, and it causes your body to create more and more fat cells, causing your metabolic rate to slow down, which is not your fault. It's a matter of learning how to make these simple adjustments to begin understanding how to work in harmony with your body again. Doesn't that sound amazing? Which is not your fault, you guys. It doesn't matter. It's not a matter of learning. It's, sorry, inside the Hansen Method, we work with a personal trainer to help provide you with easy at-home exercises. And I do have to tell you, that isn't until 3 months into the program. So a huge part of it doesn't include exercise. Type in the comments if you think having some kind of exercise plan or routine would be helpful. Type a "give me that" in the comments. And let's move on. Oh, you guys, this is supposed to say secret number 3. Let's fix that really fast. Okay, give me that, give me that, give me that. Okay, awesome. You guys are wonderful. Yay. Okay, so secret number 3 that I have for you is, here's what I did instead of medication. I think someone commented earlier about wanting to at least being able to reduce the thyroid medication. So I want to give a disclaimer here. And now I fully recognize that this isn't the story for everyone. And for some people, having medication is a good fit. So make sure that you're consulting with your doctor about what the best option is for you in regards to taking medication, okay? That out of the way. So thyroid imbalances are not a one-size-fits-all, even though that's how it's being treated right now, by thyroid hormone replacement, right? We have the standard practice of care. So it doesn't matter if you have Graves or Hashimoto's or hypothyroidism or hyperthyroid or even thyroid cancer, right? The standard practice of care is going in, getting thyroid hormone replacement, and this may not work for some people. It could be a miss. So I'm going to give you an example. So for example, if Shelly has low thyroid function as a result of adrenal stress that is caused by taking, let's say, birth control pills, the thyroid hormone medication would not only have been the wrong call, but it would make her symptoms worse. Anybody experience that? I'm just curious. May feel, okay, so it's going to make it worse. Many feel that once I have thyroid medication and my thyroid hormones are balanced, then I will have the energy that I want and my weight will decrease, my hair will stop falling out, I'll stop having the brain fog, and it'll all go away. My hands, my feet will stop being cold. The puffy face will go down, the tremors, the numbness, the tingling, the heart palpitation will just all magically go away. And sadly, this isn't the case because we aren't getting to the root cause. So type yes, or type 5 steps if you guys want my 5 steps for getting to the root. Let's see, we've had a few comments. Charlotte says, what's the point of taking it when it does nothing for you? I wake up and take mine every day along with others for conditions, associated with hypo. And I feel like, what's even the point? Yep. Kimberly says, yes, numerous times in my life. Amy says, this was/is me. Laura says, 5 steps, 5 steps, 5 steps, 5 steps. Yay! 5 steps to getting to the root. Okay, woohoo! I told you guys I was going to give you 5 steps, and I'm so excited for this part. This is where I get super pumped. Oop, you guys, I messed up the chat box. Okay, there we go. Now I'm up to where you guys are at. Okay, so step number 1 is understanding your genetics and your family history. I like to explain genetics as a gun, and while your genetics loads the gun to the environment, it loads the gun, the environment is the one that pulls the trigger, causing you to have hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, Graves, hyperthyroidism, or even thyroid cancer. Penny says, yes, meds didn't work for me. Yep, I've heard that too. Yeah. Okay, so the environment, meaning your thoughts, your actions, the foods that you're eating, lifestyle, environmental triggers like mold, heavy metals, cleaning products, makeup, air pollution, and the list goes on and on, you guys. So tell me, does thyroid problems run in your family? And you can just type family if you have family members. So my mom had thyroid cancer, my grandma had hypothyroidism, and my aunt has Hashimoto's. So this is a genetic problem. Oh my gosh, you guys, family, 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 yes. Yes, mother, nephew. Okay, you guys, we're getting somewhere, right? Step number 2. We need to create and look at a medical timeline, right? We need to be looking for trauma. And I categorize trauma as anything less than nurturing. So if it feels like trauma to you, or you might not be sure, then type it in. Penny says, my family, mother, and 5 sisters. Wow, yes. Heather says, no, but father has lupus. Okay. So here's some examples of trauma. Tracy says, twin pregnancy sent her over the edge. Okay, so I'm gonna be, and Tracy, I can relate to that. When I started having babies, some things threw me for a loop. So trauma to the neck, think of things like car accidents, whiplash, head bonks, chronic strep throat, emotional trauma, maybe the loss of a loved one. Maybe you were in an abusive relationship, and that put your body under intense stress. Okay. Kay says, broke my L1. Yep, absolutely. Hormonal trauma. Okay. Who is that? Tracy, right? Right here, hormonal trauma caused by hormonal fluctuations, pregnancy, nursing, miscarriage, birth control, and the list goes on and on. IVF medication. Yes, Laura, sent my body into a whirlwind, 100%. Okay. So these first 2 steps help us better understand those triggers, helping you to pull out those triggers from the gun, so to speak, right? And seeing what is causing you to have that poor thyroid function. Michelle says strep, mono, CFS. So here is where we start to reverse engineer the actions you need to start taking, right? By having all of these pieces of information is going to help you and I create a successful program so that you are feeling better, okay? So step number 3, okay? Addressing the diet, right? As you learned earlier about the diet can have a profound effect on how the thyroid and the hormones are working. So cleaning up the diet and addressing the integrity of the gut is vital in your success at regaining energy and achieving that weight loss. We need to have the right foods in the right balance so that the body has the right nutrition to begin working and functioning optimally. You will be filling in those nutritional gaps that will allow your gut to properly restore itself. And the nutritional gaps for proper brain function, which we talked about, is super important with the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland, which will help with that early on stage, right? Helping to create the right TSH, the right T4, T3. Okay, tell me, what you have done to try to support your diet, right? Have you hired a nutritionist? Have you gone gluten-free? Have you been a yo-yo dieter? Or maybe you haven't tried diets to support your thyroid, and there's no wrong answers. I'm really just curious. Yo-yo dieter, every single diet, clean eating, Weight Watchers, okay, went gluten-free. Papa Trunk, hi. Amy says, I have went gluten-free and dairy-free. You guys, this is something like I said, we cover in depth in the Hansen Method because nutrition is such an individualized thing. Yo-yo dieting pills, trying to figuring out what effects blood sugar has right now. Says K, liquid protein, dirty from the 70s diet. Okay, you guys, all of us in here, I'm gonna give you a little bit of Shelly is Papa Trunk. Oh, okay, okay. I was like, huh, I haven't seen that name here. Okay, hi, Shelly. Okay, I'll try to remember that. A diet is such an individualized thing, you guys, and I've given you some healthy or some tips, right? We need to increase fats. We need to be eating the right amount of carbohydrates. But again, each person is different, so I'm not going to be able to give you guys individual things. We've talked about leafy greens. Penny says, tried gluten-free, increase in veggies. Awesome, Penny. Okay, so step number 4, get sunlight. You guys, did you know that getting 10 to 15 minutes of sunlight every single day improves thyroid function? Studies have shown that vitamin D deficiency is strongly associated with higher TSH levels and decreased free T3 and free T4. Vitamin D has an influence on the pituitary, hypothalamus, adrenal axis, which influences the TSH levels. And in order for iodine to be used to creating thyroid hormones, vitamin D needs to be available. It's also important for the immune system, and it's very common for those with Hashimoto's to be vitamin D deficient. And it's pretty amazing how many simple things we can do that positively impact thyroid balance. So now, many of you are thinking, well, I'll just take a vitamin D supplement. That's not enough. Your body needs the sunlight. It needs the sunshine. Okay, I live in Arizona, so it's really easy. If you live in Canada or something, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But getting 10 to 15 minutes at some point during the day is very, very important. Kay, very interesting. My vitamin D is inherently low. Yes, and there's things, this is something that you guys should also be getting tested with those labs for your thyroid. Okay, so type yes in the comments if you get 10 to 15 minutes of sunlight, or type no, I'll work on that if you plan on working with that. Charlotte, 100 units, 1,000 units a day. I can't give you a dosage because you're not a client of mine. However, that may not be enough for thyroid imbalances, okay? So maybe talk to a doctor or a physician, or if you want to become a private client, we can talk about more of a therapeutic. Kay says, no, I'll work on that. Laura says, yes, more sunlight if it will ever shine. Laura, where are you from? Okay, let's go to step number 5, guys. Okay, we're getting there. All right, number 5, our body needs movement. Walking 20 to 30 minutes a day and getting that sunlight will allow your body to improve that cellular function without overly taxing the body and causing the opposite effect of weight gain and more fatigue. We are not creating any stress on the body by walking. Specific types of exercise because some exercises like HIIT training creates lactic acid in the body, and creating that lactic acid is one of those things that is causing that deep muscle pain and aches in the body. So when we don't, and with our thyroid being out of balance with our adrenal glands, we don't have a way for that to get outside the body. We don't have a way to remove that lactic acid, causing that those deep muscle aches. So working on balancing these 5 areas is very critical in the beginning. So stick with light, and I mean very light exercise, because we need, oh, I might sneeze. We don't want to overdo it in this movement area. Okay, that will come later. Inside the Hansen Method, like I said earlier, we don't incorporate strenuous exercises until month 3. And there's a reason for this, because it's part of the restoring process. So don't skip over this either, right? We need to be exercising. But not doing strenuous exercises. Okay. So each of these 5 steps is a new way of addressing thyroid health. First, by unraveling your story. Second, by helping you find your triggers that are causing that stress in your body and on your body. And the last 3 are helping you to get to the root and replacing the imbalances with helpful lifestyle habits that improve that cellular hypothyroid function. So, would you rather continuing to go to doctors, being bounced around from specialist to specialist, seeking answers and trying to regulate your medication that doesn't get rid of the symptoms, or address your thyroid in a new way? Type new way if you guys are ready to do something in a new way. Lola's story, you guys, new way, new way, new way. Yay! All right, new way. Awesome. New way, more. Okay, so here's Lola's story. Lola was a busy grandma. She lived with her single daughter, and she was taking care of her 3 grandsons full time while her daughter worked. And Lola was frustrated by the lack of support her doctors were giving to her. She was still suffering from debilitating fatigue, brain fog, and she tried a lot of natural options like going gluten-free and changing her diet to help her get the energy, but to also remove that brain fog, with little success. You guys, she was gluten-free, low carb, working with a personal trainer at the gym. And once she committed to working with me for 3 months, she was no longer napping for 2 to 3 hours a day on the couch while watching her grandsons, and her brain fog began to lift. She said the added bonus for her was dropping 4 pant size without extreme dieting and without cutting out major food groups as a result. When I finally started looking at my genetics and understanding my unique story, I began to unravel my unique root causes that were causing my thyroid imbalances, and I discovered that I had a long list of trauma on my thyroid. Everything from chronic strep throat growing up, to mono, to a rollover car accident where I was ejected from the car and landed in a barbed wire fence. You guys, one of the pieces of barbed wire went across my neck, and when they found me, they had to hold it off my neck because it was restricting that airflow. And I found tons of hormonal imbalances between birth control and multiple pregnancies, and so on and so forth. Having all of those pieces helped me better understand my symptoms and a new way to address and restore thyroid function. So with the research and the trial and error, I realized the last 3 steps can aid in that restoration and rejuvenation process. I wanted to tell you about Joanne. So Joanne said, after struggling for years with insomnia, chronic pain, debilitating headaches, and working with doctors and taking over-the-counter pills, I received an okay from my doctor to look at alternative options. It took me a long time to make the decision to invest in my health. But after working with Shannon, my pain levels decreased by over 90%. I slept so much better, and I loved how individualized it was, and I wasn't lumped in with everyone else and given strategies to help me feel better, leaving me feeling empowered to continue making improvements to feel better. That was Joanne. So like Joanne, you can have a step-by-step path to follow so that you can be successful in regaining that energy and losing the weight. So if you had accountability from a professional, would you be successful? Type yes in the comments if you think you would be successful. All right. So let's revisit what we've learned today, you guys, with the our first core concept, right? Our first secret. So many people come to me in my free Facebook group and they are unsure if they have thyroid problems because they have been tested for they've had their thyroid tested several times. Everybody's saying yes, 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 yes. Awesome. Super helpful, right? Having a step-by-step implementation guide is so important. So many people are coming into my community. They've tested their thyroid several times, and yet they still don't have a clear diagnosis or an understanding of what's going on. And I want to tell you, you know your body best. You know if something is off or wrong. We don't always need lab work to validate what we know is already wrong. So inside our Facebook group, I have a list of over 300 thyroid symptoms, and every single person has come back and said, wow, I didn't realize this is all related to my thyroid. Lab work is a small peek into a snapshot of your day and your life. Thyroid hormones fluctuate, right? Somebody talked about that. My hormones are all over the place. And just because thyroid hormones are in the body doesn't mean that they're getting into the cells like we need them to. To be very pointed and very direct, doctors can't do anything to help you until you reach a state of disease, okay? Who wants to feel like a ticking time bomb? Because I was not okay with that. Number two, stop thinking that you're lazy and you should just go to the gym and exercise, right? And eat less. Your thyroid hormones are very delicate and respond very quickly and adjust to make sure that that your body is responding to those thyroid hormones, right? Positively or negatively. It's not about spending hours in the gym or restrictive dieting. It's about learning to work with your body again, learning to get adequate nutrition so that your thyroid hormones start working properly. Okay. Oh, this is supposed to say 3, you guys. Oh, okay. I'm so glad I'm finding these. Okay. Concept number 3, or secret number 3. I want to say some people absolutely need that thyroid medication. However, I found a way to balance my thyroid hormones without relying on thyroid medication. Even my clients who need medication have found improvements inside the Hansen Method because it ensures that the thyroid hormones are getting where they need to be. So number 1, right? We're going to review the 5 steps. So number 1 was understanding your genetics. Number 2, understanding your unique triggers. Number 3, getting a balanced diet, making sure that you're getting enough carbs, enough proteins, and enough fats to sustain the energy and improve that thyroid function. Number 4, getting 10 to 15 minutes of sunlight so that you have adequate amounts of vitamin D. And number 5, walking, participating in light to medium exercise for 20 to 30 minutes a day. So you showed up today because you want to gain freedom from fatigue without having to give up Dr. Pepper and chocolate. You want a simpler way to achieve energy and to lose weight, to lose that extra 30 pounds, right? 20 to 30 pounds of weight without doing that restrictive dieting and without spending hours in the gym. You want to start feeling like yourself and stop feeling tired, worn down, snappy, irritable, puffy, and unattractive. And you want to be able to have that bounding energy so that you can feel accomplished, productive, and beautiful. So at the beginning of this training, I made you a promise. I promised that you would be able to clearly identify your thyroid symptoms and get exact steps I use to restore my thyroid so that you can wake up feeling refreshed and have energy all day long without being dependent upon caffeine, chocolate, or naps, and while being able to get back into those jeans in the back of the closet, and being able to interact with your children and your family without having to take large amounts of time to recover. Um, and how I was able to say yes to my family, yes to my friends, yes to my social life, and dare I say, yes to my spouse. Now, here's the thing I want you to remember. Everything I shared with you today isn't some random theory or some idea that I think might work for you. Everything I walked you through today, it worked for me, and it has worked for my clients who are all in a similar spot as you are right now. I'm not special. They aren't special. We all have busy lives, jobs, families, and if they can get results, I am confident that you can too. You already know that you can achieve lasting energy without those crashes, because you're going to have an accountability. You're going to have a plan and be able to walk through each one of those plans. So would you like me to help you gain freedom from fatigue? Type yes in the comments if you would like me to help you get a balanced thyroid, so that you can create that thriving thyroid that we talked about and gain freedom from fatigue. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. Yes, says Penny. Now you have a choice. You can continue to do what you're doing, balancing from diet to diet, trying new exercise routines, trying meal replacement shakes, and spending tons of money on supplements and bouncing from doctor to doctor, hoping that it works, even though it hasn't worked before. Or you can choose a simpler path and use the Hansen Method that comes with a proven system and accountability so that you can hit your goals. The choice is yours. Now, throughout the program, you heard me mention the Hansen Method. This is how I can help you achieve that lasting energy and gain the freedom from fatigue. So would it be okay if I took a few minutes to share with you how I can best help you? Type yes in the comments if that would be okay. My job is to give you the right information so that you can achieve a balanced thyroid hormone and energy so that you don't have to struggle being tired all the time. So would it be okay? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Then I will give you the free gift that we mentioned at the beginning of this training, and then we'll move into the question and answer. And I'm here to answer all of your questions. All right. So here's how I can help. I am honored to be sharing this opportunity with you because the best way I can help you is by personally supporting each and every one of you. So what I've done is set aside some time over the next 2 to 3 days to speak with you individually about how I can support you and apply what we've talked about today so that you can get that freedom from fatigue in the 90 days. Isn't that amazing? Like, who wants that in 90 days, right? Remember April? She went from 18 hours to 10 to 12 hours in 3 months. So I do what I call a thyroid breakthrough call. The best part is that this 45-minute thyroid breakthrough call is free. So you will gain so much confidence because you'll be able to see how the system works so well. You'll be like, how is this call free? You should be charging for this. It's amazing, you guys. Well, I'm certainly not the only one in the nutrition business. There are a lot of people out there doing the work, and it's great. But I am the best at showing women with thyroid imbalances who want to restore thyroid function and gain that energy from fatigue without spending hours at the doctors, getting lab work done all the time. I transform my own life and my client's life. So here's what you can do next. Okay. Give me 1 second, you guys. I am going to grab the link for you. So if you guys are ready and able to go ahead and type that in there. Okay, it's yellow. Hopefully you guys can see that. If you click on that link, it'll take you directly to where you guys can book a call with me. And I want to share with you guys, kind of walk you through this process. So it'll look like this when you get over to that online scheduler. And once you're here, you'll notice that on the left, so there's a calendar section. You'll go through and you'll pick a day and time that works for you. So find the day and then click the time right here, and you'll input your name, your phone number, all of that information, and I will be calling you at that designated time. Okay. After you schedule your call, you'll get an email confirmation with more information about the area code I'll be calling you from. And you don't have to worry or be nervous or anything. Just come open and ready to learn and to gain clarity. The calls are done on the phone, and I'll contact you at that start time. So it's super easy peasy. Okay, so now that you've seen how to schedule your thyroid breakthrough call with me, I want to cover a couple of specifics. On the thyroid breakthrough call, I am going to help you gain that freedom from fatigue. So we'll help you get clarity on what is working, your specific goal and why you want it, okay? Any obstacles and challenges that would derail you from your success. Number 3, how to handle social situations or pressure. And number 4, we're going to be looking at any self-sabotage that is happening. So by the time the call is over, I want you to be leaving with helpful strategies that propel your success forward. So does that sound good? Type in the comments, tell me yes. If you know that having a call like this would help you, type yes. Amber says yes. Awesome. Yes, sounds good. Yes, already scheduled. Wonderful. Yay. Yes, Kathy says. Awesome, you guys. Yes. Okay. Awesome, you guys. So here's the important thing that you need to know. This call is 100% free. You might be thinking, okay, but there's a catch to this. You just told me all of this, all of the ways that you're going to help me. So why is this call free? So first of all, the call is free because it is my mission in life, literally my life work, to support women with thyroid imbalances to gain that freedom from fatigue and release the thyroid weight in a way that doesn't involve spending hours on Dr. Google, stop yo-yo dieting, and spending hours in the gym. And I have a core value in my business where I offer value first. I start off by helping you, like with this webinar and with the call. And I know I can help you overcome some of the barriers that have been stopping you from achieving that sustainable energy in a short period of time. And second, I know that many of you out there listening want personalized support and accountability. If you or someone that you know, in order for you to be successful, you need to have that accountability, right? And if we talk and in this conversation, you feel like the Hansen Method would be a good fit, we would go ahead and talk about that. And if not, that's totally fine. I'll leave the call. You'll leave the call with so much value and clarity and confidence. And of course, we'll part as friends. There's one catch though. If you're looking for a quick fix or a magic pill, so to speak, or a way to balance thyroid hormones and get energy where you don't really care if it's truly supporting the thyroid hormones, this call isn't for you. Okay, so let's go into if this call is for you or if it's not. Let's see. Kay, can you find the message? Can you Facebook message me with a link? I didn't see it. Okay, I can put it right here, Kay. I will type it in again. Can you see that yellow? If not, send me a message on Facebook and I will get you the link, okay? Okay, so this call is not for women who want to play the victim role and who aren't wanting to make changes to your diet and your lifestyle that will help you gain that energy. And if you're looking for a quick fix and not interested in long-term well-being and want to continue bouncing from doctor to doctor, searching for answers and validation on how you feel. It's not for women who already have bounding energy and are in their dream size. This isn't for you if you're unmotivated and unwilling to take recommendations and make changes in your life. Whoop. Okay, got it. Okay, perfect. All right. Look, I know that the system works. I've showed you examples throughout this training of some of my clients who have had success, and there is a reason that they've achieved that energy, reduced inflammation, and gotten good restful sleep. My clients are committed to their goals. I want success so badly for my clients and for you, but I can't be the only one putting in the effort. I 100% believe that I know when you commit to goals using the system, then you will achieve success, right? If you follow the plan, if you follow the path, you will achieve success. So the first step is to schedule a thyroid breakthrough call. If you or someone who wants to gain freedom from fatigue is committed, then this call is for you. So this call is for you if you are ready to stop doing all the things that don't work and things to think. Sorry, I wrote this down wrong. You want to stop doing things that don't work, right? You want to get a proven system that does work. You want to know that the road to success, I want you to know that the road isn't straight, right? It's going to be windy, but if you're committed, you will start achieving that success. This calls for you if you want to learn how to balance those thyroid hormones, if you are coachable and are willing to ask questions and get support and have accountability. If you are tired of trying things that don't work and are done getting these short-term results. And this call is for you if you are motivated, committed, if you are determined and resilient. So here you guys go, right? I'm going to put it in the chat box one more time, this call. Go ahead and schedule this if you guys are totally committed. So if this is for you, then you are someone who wants that support and that accountability, and you can overcome those obstacles that are holding you back, and make sure that you schedule your call right now because spots are limited. I don't have a call center doing these. You and I are going to jump on the phone together. So I can absolutely give you support. Is that okay? So even if you've spent hours in the gym, if you've tried that low carb thing, if it hasn't worked, or even if you don't have the time, support, or even the knowledge of how this works, it works for you because it is based off finding your unique triggers and includes support and accountability that traditional methods don't do. There are some nuances that only an expert can help you with because there are many, many different factors involving the traditional programs that traditional programs don't cover, right? I told you my doctor didn't teach me how to implement these things, your mindset, your environment, and how to navigate these social settings because we don't exist in a vacuum. So head over to the online calendar, secure your spot, because I know there is a big difference between trying to figure it out on your own and working with an expert to achieve that success. Okay, so present time, you guys. Let's go down. Okay, I've got to grab the link for you. Hopefully this is super quick. Kay says scheduled. Awesome, Kay. I can't wait to chat with you. Oh, no. Okay, you guys, I might have to send this out. Give me 1 second. Okay. Kathy says scheduled. Awesome, Kathy. Oh, we'll get there. Okay, let's go down to thyroid panel guide right here. Okay, here is the link, you guys. I'm gonna give it to you right now. If for whatever reason, okay, so the new link is up for you for this guide. It will take you directly to the website that you guys need where you can download. If it doesn't work, please don't worry, just email me and I will personally send this over to you, okay? Just click that link, it'll pop up. You can save it in your phone, wherever you guys are calling in from. So now let's transition into this question and answer. So if you guys have questions, type them into the chat box right now, okay? All right, here we go. I have a few of the common questions that I get all the time while you guys are thinking. So what if I haven't gotten a diagnosis for my thyroid yet? You guys, it doesn't matter. You can start doing the work with or without a diagnosis. You know your body best, and when things aren't working the way you want them to, it works. This program works if you have hyperthyroidism, hypothyroidism, Graves' disease, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, or if you don't have a diagnosis, but you have all the symptoms, and even if you aren't 100% sure if you have thyroid imbalances, I know you're going to gain that energy from fatigue. Charla, so is the support 100% over the phone, or how does that work? Ooh, okay, good question. So, Penny says scheduled. Okay, awesome, you guys. I'm so excited to be talking to you. Okay, let's go to your question. Is the support 100% over the phone? So it's set up in a way where you get a membership site, and there is teaching lessons in that membership site, and there are downloadable PDF files, there's worksheets, there's just tons and tons of resources in there. And then twice a week we do group coaching calls, and the cool thing about this is you gain support of a community. You get one-to-one FaceTime with me, and I go through, you guys, I schedule an hour to 2 hours to do those coaching calls. They're on Tuesday mornings and Thursday evenings, and you can always watch the replay. You can always ask questions. We have a spreadsheet where you can type in like your question, and I'll answer it on the call. So does that help you, Charla? I hope I'm saying your name, Charla. I hope I'm saying your name right. I apologize. You're probably like, oh my gosh, this lady. Kay says, I've lost so much hair. I've been looking at wigs. Yes. I hate this gal, so I must ask. Okay, no, there is no weigh-ins. You guys, I do 0 weigh-ins. One of the big diagnostic tools that we have, Charla. Okay, so like SH, Charla. Did I say it right? Type yes if I did. Charla. Okay, thank you. I should have had you do that earlier. Okay, yay! Okay, woohoo! Okay, I'm excited that I said it right. Okay, no weigh-ins. We use what I call a food, mood, poop journal, and we're looking at improvements in the digestive system. We're making, like, that is the only tracking measurement that we do, because from there we're able to customize a program. We're able to say, oh, because you're experiencing this, you need to be eating these foods. Okay. And Kay, she's lost so much hair and she's been looking at wigs. I'm so sorry. Like, I remember my hair just falling out in clumps in the shower. It was so discouraging, you guys. I would do my hair in the morning and I would look down and there's a pile of hair all around where I was standing. Okay, question number 2. If I am a good fit, how much does a program cost? So here's the thing. It depends on your current state of health, mindset, etc., and which I'll be able to better help determine on the call. So I don't want to misspeak. Plus, there are payment options available too. So my suggestion would be to just go ahead and book that call and let me dive more into the history and see if you're a good fit, and I'll share enrollment details with you. So if we're going off the digestive system, well, I had my thyroid, or thyroid, oh my goodness, gallbladder removed. So yeah, well, no, right, absolutely. And this program, like I said, is super customizable. And I have one lady who is on medication and can't be eating certain foods, and so we're making accommodations for that. Question number 3, does, that's supposed to say it, does it work if my thyroid has been removed partially or completely? Yep, this program is designed to help you make the necessary lifestyle and dietary changes that support thyroid hormones with or without a thyroid, so that you gain that freedom from fatigue. Number 4, how can this even be real? Oh, yay. See, I told you, this is awesome, you guys. I really do this to add value first. That's really, truly my mission here. I'm so excited that you're excited about this. Okay, question number 4. People say things like, I'm a little nervous about joining this program. I've already tried so many things that don't work. Do you offer a money back guarantee? And absolutely, you guys, we stand by our product and our services, and we offer 100% money back guarantee. I think I have actually changed this to 4 weeks. So within the first 4 weeks of enrollment, if you show that you're doing the work and you're not seeing a transformation, and you want, and you've been participating in the weekly coaching calls and inside the program, then all you have to do is just let me know. Okay, and I will give you 100% money back guarantee. Number 5, will this work if I'm taking thyroid medication, or do I have to take thyroid medication for this to work? The answer is, it doesn't matter if you're taking thyroid hormones or not. This program is completely customizable for you, and it works with your body on a cellular and a genetic level. So there's no matter where you're starting from, this is going to work for you. All right, you guys, go ahead and schedule that thyroid breakthrough call with me. I am so excited. I hope everyone has gotten their download too. Okay, I'm gonna put that in that chat just one more time in case somebody missed it. And with that, you guys, I love you. Thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to talking to you. Okay, Charla says, this is when you know something is real. We have someone devoting time to us, creating on our body. Wow, thank you. Oh, yay, you guys. Oh, you guys have been amazing tonight. It's actually taken me a little bit longer because you guys have been so interactive. So thank you. You guys have been a fantastic group tonight. We did it, you guys. Thank you so much. Like I said before, my mission and my purpose on this planet is to save the right people from experiencing what I did and give them a simpler way to achieve that freedom from fatigue. So if you've booked your call, I can't wait to speak with you. The call is about me being of service to you, and we both agree that if you're the right fit, we can discuss what it would look like to work together. Either way, you'll get so much out of our time together, and I'm really looking forward to talking to each and every one of you. Thank you again, and we'll talk soon. Let's do it, girls. Let's get let's get our life back. I can't wait till Saturday to get your call. Thank you so much. I have had so much hope now. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm gonna go cry now. You guys are seriously so amazing. Okay, I love you. Good night. Come over to the free Facebook group, you guys. Tell us what you've learned. And if you guys want you want to check out the 300 symptoms, let me know, you guys. I will start tagging you in any information. You guys are absolutely incredible. Okay, have a fantastic night. I'll talk to you guys soon.